We've sparked a bit of debate this morning over what to do when you encounter a tick.
So we spoke to Dr. Nick Coatsworth, not Dr. Tick Coatsworth, who reckons you can just pull them out.
Yeah, there's different ways of doing it. There's a whole heap of ways that it'll tell you online, but the idea is as long as you get you do use those tweezers, and as long as you get them around the head and actually move the pincers out, then you get less local reaction and inflammation.
So let's go to Dr. J now, a.k.a. my mum, Jenny from the block in Yorkie's.
There she is.
Hi, Mum. You're not on the TV and driving at the same time, I hope.
No.
Because you get very cranky at me for doing that. I had a big argument with you at the start of the year about all this, when I pulled a tick out of a cousin. And you got very cranky at me. So what is your solution?
I got cranky because you said you didn't know if it was a tick, and I saw it and said it's a tick. And my suggestion is, if you can't get it out right from the head, like Nick, the doctor, need to go to the doctor and get it all out. Because if you leave the head in, it can cause infections, and you can get all those sort of weird tick diseases these days.
Jenny knows what she's talking about.
Jenny's onto something.
Yeah,
because I grew up with ticks at Whale Beach in the jungle days.
Yeah.
And they were just pulled out because there was no doctors around. Now you have doctors.
You can't get in to see one. But, Doctor, and just before we go, Dr. J, where do you think you went wrong with me as a parent?
Did you leave a tick inside your own son, Jenny, did you?
No, you didn't get too many, but
We got them. We got them.
we took them out. I took them out, but
Yeah.
I got the clean tweezers and got it right out near the head, and then you'd need to wash the area and put a bit of alcohol on. But, you know, you've got to watch that you don't get temperatures or any infections afterwards.
That's right.
You taking appointments, Dr. Jenny?
No. Try and see a doctor first. But, you know, sometimes there's not a doctor around.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that's where my love of alcohol came from.
It all makes sense now.
Thank you, Dr. J. Love you, Mum.
Good to see you, Jenny.
And if you have any health concerns at all, send us an email, and Dr. J will be sorting those out on Friday
Does
for
she
you.
bulk bill?
She does, yeah.
Right.
She sure does.
The best part of that was the way she very carefully dodged the hard question about where it all went wrong, Karl.
And thanks for revisiting that one, Phil.
Couldn't help it.
I went to school with a couple of ticks. They're great people. Really good people on both sides.
Exactly.
Great to have your company
that was
this
Jenny.
morning. That was a good time. All right, here's what's coming.
Back now with a Today Health Alert, and tick bites are this morning being linked to a steep increase in cases of a rare condition causing meat allergies.
To discuss, we're joined by Dr. Nick Coatsworth in Canberra. Doc, good morning to you. Can you explain the health concern here?
Yeah, this is a really interesting one, Karl, but I should say that meat lovers around Australia should not be concerned by this, but it's just a really interesting example of how our immune system works. You know, mammalian meat, except for great apes and humans, has a particular protein sequence that is not in our body. So for a very small number of people around the world, but it is increasing in the United States, you can actually develop a meat allergy. So when you consume meat, you end up with allergic reactions about 3 to 6 hours later. So it's a really interesting issue, and yes, you can get it in Australia, which is, but it requires some sort of expert diagnosis to make.
So if you're saying this is rare, how many Aussies does it affect?
Yeah, so there is an actual number attached to that. Around the world, it's about between 10 per 100,000 and 100 per 100,000. So you can see on those fractions that it's not common, but probably in Australia something that's more found on the East Coast due to the prevalence of a particular little parasite called a tick.
They're terrible little things, and then they're ever at the moment seem to be in plague proportions in some parts, worse in the summer, obviously. What do you do when a tick has embedded itself in your skin? Because we used to just get the tweezers out and rip it out, but there are different ways of doing it now.
Yeah, there's different ways of doing it. There's a whole heap of ways that it'll tell you online, but the idea is as long as you get you do use those tweezers, and as long as you get them around the head and actually move the pincers out, then you get less local reaction and inflammation. It's really important, Karl, not to be too alarmist as well about ticks, because so many of us get bitten by them, and so few of us actually get sick by them. But it's been an area of deep controversy in medicine in Australia. There's been decade-long Senate inquiries into the effect of ticks on our health. So very important to have a look at this, to continue to have a look at this. Very important not to panic if you get a tick bite, and just remove it with those tweezers and keep an eye on it.
What is the greatest risk then to Aussies?
So I think the risk to Aussies basically is you might get a little infection there. That's probably, and that's quite a minor ailment. But there are other illnesses called rickettsial diseases, and they can give you fever and land you in hospital. Obviously not a huge number of people getting those, but I see those in my daily practice. And this meat allergy, you can get it from a tick bite. But again, don't expect your GP or even a physician like me to be able to diagnose it. It's a rare condition, and it requires expert immunological support and diagnosis to get.
So I know that you're like the sitting medical professional on this cross this morning, but Dr. Jenny, my mum, when I tried to remove the tick with tweezers, got right up me. She said, you can't treat it like that way anymore if the tick's still embedded in you. You've got to put something on it, like some kind of...
Like alcohol.
Yeah, alcohol or whatever.
Or ointment or something like that.
And so she's going to get really cranky at me if I don't tell you that you've got this terribly wrong this morning, Doc.
Absolutely wrong. Well, Dr. Jenny, I think there's a number of different ways to do it. Provided that you get the head of that tick out, you'll be okay.
All right.
Good advice.
You don't want to leave it in there, that's for sure. Good on you, Doc. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Doc. Hey there, Today fans. Sarah and...
What's my name again?
Oh my God, Karl.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel, though. Subscribe now for more news, special reports, and amazing Aussie stories.
And Karl misbehaving,
Whoa,
of course.
That never happens.
Always happens.
What's she talking about?